For the entire family of ROTEX sanders, we have different pads for different applications of sanding. We have the black pad, which is the pad that comes with these three sanders. It's kind of your all-around sanding pad. It's not too hard, not too soft. Then we have the super soft pad, and that's going to be for sanding finishes or if you're feathering in edges. There's more give to the pad itself. And then we have the blue pad, which is the hard pad. So if you really want to flatten a surface, that is the pad you want to choose. Now, to change out the pad is very simple. If you remember, we talked about the green switches on the top. You've got the power and the mode switch. To change the pad, you always want to make sure you're in the ROTEX mode. And you always want to make sure that the sander is powered off to change over to the ROTEX mode. Now, you can hear it kind of spin with the gears. To lock that into place, you press the button on the side here, and it's kind of up and in at the same time. Once you've done that, it simply just twists off. Install your next pad. The same thing on the RO125, except the pad lock button is on the back here. Simply press that in once it's in ROTEX mode, twist it off, and then you can twist it back on. Now on the RO90, it's a little bit different. We've got a dial on the top, and there's three positions. You have random orbit, you have ROTEX, and then you have a delta or triangle pad. That's because this sander can also use a delta pad. To change the pad, you have to make sure that it's in the delta mode. Once it's in the delta mode, that just switches off, and then I can put on my delta pad. Now to get the delta pad off, there is a green button on the bottom of the pad. I have to push that in, rotate it, and then I can put my round pad back on. Now that we've got the correct pad for our sanders, I'll show you how to properly hold the sanders and work with a ROTEX sander. Now here's a couple tips on how to sand properly with the ROTEX sanders. Whether you're using a ROTEX sander or any other one of our sanders, one thing I always do is I always make sure that the sander is completely flat and on the surface when I turn it on. And then for turning it off, I want to take it off before I turn it off. So on when it's on, off when it's off. That will help reduce the chance of any swirl marks. Something else you want to be aware of is that we do have adjustable suction on our dust extractors. The ROTEX sanders are powerful enough where you don't have to really adjust that suction, but you do have that option if you feel like you're getting more swirls than you need. Once you have the sander on, I don't typically hold the handle. I will hold my left hand right here, and then I'll just support the hose and the cord in the back. That allows me to keep the pad perfectly flat on the surface. Because if you don't keep it flat, what will happen is it'll turn into a giant spinning wheel and it'll throw you all over the place. So to control it better, all my pressure is here. I'm just controlling the sander left and right, front and back. I'm supporting it back here. Now as far as a sanding pattern, to make sure I have full coverage over the entire board, I won't just sand left and right. Because what that'll do is give you waves over the entire surface. So I'll sand left to right, I'll sand front to back, and I'll sand in a circular motion after that. That'll give me nice even coverage and give me the flattest surface possible. If you follow those steps with any of the ROTEX sanders, that'll give you the best possible finish you could ask for.